Welcome to Open e-learning. Learn English online.
Assalamu alaikum friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Open e-learning. Learn English online. This is Muhammad Ali Sumra with you teaching English language. Dear viewers, in this my video lecture, I'm going to demonstrate infinitive and infinitive phrase. Let's talk about an infinitive. What is an infinitive? An infinitive is a verb form that typically begins with the word to. The structure of an infinitive is to plus verb first form, to speak. It functions as a noun, adjective, or an adverb. No doubt it is formed out of a verb, but it does not act as a verb in a sentence, but it functions as a noun, adjective, or an adverb. Let's have an example of infinitive. He wants to yell. In this sentence, to yell is an infinitive because to plus verb first form, that's why I call it infinitive. And this to yell is an object of this sentence and it functions as a noun. This infinitive verb functions as a noun in this sentence. To speak, to walk, to laugh, to ride, to drink are the examples of infinitive verb. There are some bare infinitives. What are the bare infinitives? When to is not used before the verb is called a bare or zero infinitive. We have certain verbs come, give, notice, like, see, hear, feel, make, let, dare, watch, help, let, finish, etc. These verbs can be bare infinitive verbs. And there are some modal auxiliary verbs. These are also bare infinitive verbs. Should, must, can, could, may, might, will, shall, would, etc. These verbs can be bare infinitives. Let's have some examples of bare infinitives. I didn't see you come in. In this sentence, come is an infinitive verb. It is a bare infinitive verb. In this verb, I have not mentioned to with this verb. That's why I call it bare infinitive. This sentence could be, I didn't see you to come in. If I mention to with this verb, then it will be an infinitive verb. Without to, it is a bare infinitive verb. Both sentences are correct. Some people use to with the verb and some people use bare infinitive. So both sentences are correct. I didn't see you come in and I didn't see you to come in. One is bare infinitive and other is infinitive. Let's have another example. Can you help me finish my homework? In this sentence, finish is also a bare infinitive verb because I have not mentioned to with this verb. If I mention to with this verb, then it will be an infinitive verb. So we can say both sentences are correct. Can you help me finish my homework? Or can you help me to finish my homework? One is bare infinitive and other is infinitive verb. So we can say the verb without to is called bare infinitive verb. In the starting, as I explained, an infinitive functions as a noun, as an adjective, or an adverb. Let's see how an infinitive functions as a noun. To travel is my dream. To travel is the subject of this sentence, and this subject is an infinitive verb, and it functions as a noun. Because this subject started with to plus verb first form, that's why I call it infinitive verb, but it functions as a noun. To beg is a disgraceful act. To beg is the subject of this sentence and it is an infinitive verb. It started with to plus verb first form, that's why I call it an infinitive verb. This infinitive verb functions as a noun because it takes place in this sentence as a subject. Now, let's talk about being an object of the sentence, how an infinitive verb functions as a noun. I like to run. To run is the object of this sentence, and this object is made up of two words, to plus verb. To plus verb is called infinitive, and this infinitive verb functions as a noun because it is used at the place of object in this sentence. Let's have another example. She wanted to speak. To speak is the object of this sentence, and this object is made up of two words, to plus verb first form. That's why I call it infinitive. This infinitive functions as a noun in this sentence. Let's see another example. Infinitive is a complement of a verb. First of all, let's talk about what is complement. A complement is part of a word or phrase that completes the predicate. Predicate means the part of a sentence that gives information about subject. Complement is used in to be sentence, the sentence without an action verb. If there is an action in the sentence, there will be an object. If there is no action in the sentence, there will be a complement. For example, my aim of life is to serve. In this sentence, to serve is the complement, because in this sentence there is no action. If there is no action in the sentence, there will be a complement. If there is an action in the sentence, there will be an object. So to serve is the complement of this sentence, and this complement is made up of two words, to plus verb first form. And this infinitive verb functions as a noun in this sentence. In this slide, I completely explained how an infinitive functions as a noun being a subject, object, or complement of the sentence. Now, let's talk about how an infinitive functions as an adjective. Here, I have given 4 examples functioning as adjectives. Number 1 sentence, I have some jeans to wash. In this sentence, to wash tells something about the jeans, means here I'm talking about the jeans. What kind of the jeans? Means the jeans to wash. To wash is an infinitive. It functions as an adjective in this sentence. Let's see another example. My brother gave me a cake to eat. In this sentence, to eat tells something about the cake. Cake is a noun, and to eat something tells about the noun. That's why I call it an adjective, and this adjective is made up of two words, to plus verb first form. It is an infinitive, and this infinitive verb functions as an adjective, tells something about the cake. Another example, my uncle bought me a cycle to ride. To ride tells something about the cycle. Cycle is a noun, and to ride is an adjective, and this adjective is made up of two words, to plus verb first form. It is an infinitive verb, and this infinitive verb functions as an adjective in this sentence. This tells something about the cycle. The kind of flowers to plant are perennials. In this sentence, to plant tells something about the flowers, what kind of the flowers, and it is an adjective, and this adjective is made up of two words, to plus verb first form. That's why I call it an infinitive verb, and this infinitive verb functions as an adjective and tells something about the noun flowers. In this slide, I explained how an infinitive functions as an adjective. Let's see how an infinitive functions as an adverb. I turn my face to avoid. In this sentence, to avoid tells something about the verb turn. That's why it is an adverb. And this adverb is made up of two words, to plus verb first form. It is an infinitive, and this infinitive functions as an adverb, and this tells us something about the verb. Mr. Smith came to teach. In this sentence, to teach is an adverb because it tells something about the came, why Mr. Smith came. To teach is an adverb, and this adverb is made up of two words, to plus verb first form, and it is infinitive, and this infinitive functions as an adverb telling us something about the verb. Let's have another example. We must carefully observe to understand. In this sentence, to understand is an adverb. This adverb is made up of two words, to plus verb first form. It is an infinitive. This infinitive functions as an adverb and tells us something about an action observed. The word which tells us something about the verb is called an adverb. I can't wait to see. In this sentence, to see functions as an adverb. And this adverb is made up of two words, to plus verb first form, infinitive, and this infinitive functions as an adverb telling us something about the verb wait. That's why I call it an adverb. In this slide, I demonstrated how an infinitive functions as an adverb. Let's talk about our main topic, infinitive phrase. What is an infinitive phrase? An infinitive phrase includes the infinitive plus any modifiers and complements. Infinitives and infinitive phrases can function as nouns, adjectives, or adverbs in a sentence. As nouns, infinitives and infinitive phrases can act either as subjects, direct objects, or predicate nominatives. Let's have an example of infinitive phrase. He wants to yell loudly. In this sentence, to yell loudly is an infinitive phrase. And this infinitive phrase is made up of infinitive and modifier. Loudly modifies infinitive to yell. That's why we call it infinitive phrase. Let's see how an infinitive functions as a noun phrase. To face bad experiences is a challenging thing in the life. Here, to face bad experiences is an infinitive phrase because this phrase started with to plus verb first form and modifier and a noun. This is an infinitive phrase, but it functions as a noun phrase. This infinitive phrase functions as a noun phrase because this phrase takes place as a subject in this sentence. That's why we call it a noun phrase. Being an infinitive, it functions as a noun phrase. To participate in the event is a motivational activity. Here, to participate in the event is an infinitive phrase, and this infinitive phrase is made up of to plus verb first form, preposition, determiner, article, and a noun event. And this infinitive phrase functions as a noun phrase because this infinitive phrase takes place as a subject of the sentence, and subject of the sentence is always a noun phrase. That's why this infinitive phrase functions as a noun phrase. Now let's see how an infinitive phrase functions as a noun phrase being an object of the sentence. I like to speak English. Here, to speak English is an infinitive phrase, and this infinitive phrase started with to plus verb first form and a noun English. And this infinitive phrase functions as a noun phrase because this infinitive phrase takes place as an object of the sentence, and an object of the sentence is always a noun. That's why this infinitive phrase functions as a noun phrase. Let's have another example. I want to become a doctor. To become a doctor is an infinitive phrase. This infinitive phrase started with to plus verb first form, determiner, article, and a noun doctor. This infinitive phrase functions as a noun phrase because this infinitive phrase takes place as an object of the sentence, and object of the sentence is always a noun phrase. That's why I call it infinitive phrase, but functions as a noun phrase. In this slide, I explained how an infinitive phrase functions as a noun phrase. Now let's see infinitive phrase functioning as an adjective phrase. Let's have some examples. The only way to find the treasure chest is to meet with the fairy princess. Here, to find the treasure chest is an infinitive phrase, and it functions as an adjective because it tells something about the way. That's why I call it as an infinitive phrase functioning as an adjective phrase. Let's have another example. The person to meet tomorrow is Simith. Here in this sentence, to meet tomorrow is an infinitive phrase. This infinitive phrase functions as an adjective phrase because this phrase describes something about a person whom I am going to meet is Simit. So we can say to meet tomorrow is an infinitive phrase but functions as an adjective phrase. Let's have last example. It is the time to learn English. Here, to learn English is an infinitive phrase. This phrase functions as an adjective phrase because it tells something about the time. In this slide, I completely explained how an infinitive phrase functions as an adjective phrase. Now, let's talk about how an infinitive phrase functions as an adverb phrase. Let's have first example. I am working hard to make my parents happy. Here in this sentence, to make my parents happy is an infinitive phrase because it started with to plus verb first form and some other words. And this infinitive phrase functions as an adverb, and this adverb phrase describes another adverb, hard. So we can say this infinitive phrase functions as an adverb phrase in this sentence. Let's have another example. He is coming in the evening to meet me. Here in this sentence, to meet me is an infinitive phrase. This infinitive phrase functions as an adverb because it tells something about a person who is coming. Why the person is coming? He is coming to meet me. Here, to meet me is an infinitive phrase and functions as an adverb phrase and tells something about a verb. That's why we call it an infinitive phrase functioning as an adverb phrase. Last example, she is planting a vegetable garden to eat organic foods right from her own backyard. Here, in this sentence, to eat organic foods right from her own backyard is an infinitive phrase because this phrase started with to plus verb first form and other words, and this infinitive phrase functions as an adverb phrase because it tells us something about the verb planting. That's why we can say this infinitive phrase functions as an adverb phrase. In this slide, I elaborated infinitive phrase as an adverb phrase. Now, let's have conclusion. Infinitive is obtained by adding the suffix to in front of the verb or using the verb in plain form. In this my video lecture, I explained infinitive and infinitive phrase. Thanks for watching.